Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Ryan and Grant for another episode of Grant Teach Me Something. First of all, just want to say thank you so much to Pat Hilton. He's the one that kind of did our little theme song at the beginning.
So awesome.
If you like that, give us some fire emojis. Say, way to go, Pat, etc., etc.
Yay,
Go
Pat.
check out his channel. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go full-on moto, baby.
Heck yeah, dude.
What does that mean to you, Mr.
Here's the
Grant?
thing is that, so what episode are we on now?
29.
All right, so you hear us talking about a lot, like we hate on the motivational speech, the rah-rah, the this, the that. You know, we say a lot of negatives towards that because there's a lot of people who have not done anything, who are out there just getting known, just off of like the purely like stick with it, be motivation, blah, blah, blah. Hustle, grind, 24/7, hustle, grind. And that is not, I mean, like, so we understand that there are people who don't need that. Like, I don't need that necessarily.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't, but you know what? There's a lot of people who do. There's a lot of people who do need to understand, look, we've been there. We're right there next to you.
Right.
Stick with it. You're going to get that going. So I feel like, even though we do talk smack about those 100% motivational speech guys, that 1 out of 29, 1 out of 30 times is probably a decent time to mix in some, you know what, guys, let's talk about it for real. Let's talk about the fact that you do need some motivation. You do need some help to get going. You do need a little help from your friends.
Real quick, housekeeping. Elizabeth, you say you have no sound. Can you hear us? Everybody else seems to like it. Can you hear us? Just let us know, Elizabeth, if you can hear us or not, because you're the only one complaining.
Right.
And usually you are all hearts and smiles.
Yeah.
Speaking of what you were just talking about, so this weekend I was at Meltdown in the Desert. It's a big kind of social media entrepreneurship conference that Corey Thompson went to last year, and he got the rah-rah, he got the motivation to transform his bit. He went to the conference last year to learn how to make more t-shirts.
Okay.
And out of that, he's like, I'm going to go full on real estate. He started a group and gave him the motivation and the drive to do what he's doing now. And if you're watching this show, you probably know who he is just because he's doing
a great job.
He's got like a $6 million portfolio now just from the drive he got from, the motivation. So
exactly. So let's talk about that for a little bit, okay? Because here's what I don't want to do, and what I've realized that I have a tendency to do is, you know how like we talk about like unrealistic body images from magazines or whatever. Like, I don't want to put out an unrealistic image of entrepreneurship either by saying like, forget all that, because you know what? You got to get up in the morning and you got to tie your shoes and you got to make sure that you're going to get things going. I was talking to one of my students yesterday or the day before who's going through a tough time right now. Took down a lot of rehabs, has a lot of cash out, that it's a struggle. And I'm realizing, you know what, dude? The reason why I'm sitting in my Lexus in front of my office that has my employees doing work for me inside and buying houses is because we've been there and we stuck through it, right? Mm-hmm. I've totally been there. I've totally been at that point where it's like, dude, I'm debt servicing like $10,000 a month of just paying out money for nothing. It's rehabs that I've got sitting on the market. It's like at this point in time, that I'm thinking of in particular, I had one $500,000 house that was, hey, when we ended up selling it, it made me $110,000. But while I was debt servicing,
you're like,
that thing freaking sucked. It was a hole in the boat. And it took me a year. It took me over a year to get that thing sold.
Yeah, and it goes back to the awesomeness and the downfall of social media. Social media, people like to complain about how negative a place it is, whatever. But guess what? You get to control what you project. So a lot of the rah-rah only project the successes, the wins, the whatever. And, that's that by design because, again, it goes back to, I think I did a video the other day about people are being full of shit and projecting what they want you to see versus the reality.
Right.
Yes, you made $110,000 on this project, which is badass. But you probably were like, shit.
Oh, yeah.
All year long to get to that point.
It sucked. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that one house in and of itself was costing me like $4,000 a month to just sit on it. Okay, like that's cool. It's eventually going to make me money, but that's $4,000 a month. And I had some other rehabs I was running too, so we're like out $10,000 a month. And I've gone that period, and there have been other periods too where I will go 6 to 8 months without collecting a check to bring home. That is some stressful crap. That happens, you know? So we don't want to come up here and just always talk about like, yeah, look at this, you know, whatever. Like one of the things I laugh at and I hate when, you know, people are projecting that image on social media is the check from the closing table, right? The check from the closing table cracks me up because I know for a fact that you can collect, actually Tim Harridge put a post up about this the other day, that he has had a check from the closing table for $250,000 to his company that he could have put a picture up on, but he net lost $100,000 on that deal, right?
Good for him.
So
good for him for posting.
For posting that.
Yeah, the honesty of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's something that people need to understand is because what's happening is we've got this culture, you know, we're still in kind of this like beginning era, believe it or not, of like social media in real estate investors. Like
right.
we're kind
I would
of,
say we're within a year.
Yeah, we're kind of on this like front edge of this is where people are starting to realize the power of social with each other and how we can all make each other better. And what you're also getting is you're getting a lot of fake news put out there about what's going on. And so I don't want you, what I'm seeing a lot of people get discouraged by is, Grant, that's not my experience. That's not my experience. I've gotten into real estate. I've seen all these people posting on about their closings, about their appointments that they're going on, and all this stuff. And that's not been my experience.
That's
Grant.
all noise. It's just noise.
It is, and it's hurting people to realize that, you know, because again, it's that unrealistic body image. It's that unrealistic expectation of what's going on. You know what the number one reason that people fail in this business is unrealistic expectations. That is the number one reason why people drop out of this business, is not getting what they should expect out of this business and having that view of all of the people that are posting up on their social with these checks and saying, why isn't that me? This just isn't working for me. Well, you know what? Those of us that are here, that are behind the scenes, that actually get the real story from that person you're seeing the post from, we're getting the story of, yeah, man, I put that check up, but dude, I lost $8,000 on it.
Right.
But you don't see that. And you start thinking, why am I not making this money? Now, the flip side is, we make a bunch of money in real estate. Let's shift it from the negative here and talk about the positives. There is so much money in real estate. I mean, it's common knowledge at this point in time that nothing's made more millionaires than real estate has. I went from, if you look at my history, my personal history, just to kind of give you guys an insight to me, and I don't necessarily bring this up a lot. I'm trying to bring it up more because I understand that people need to understand. Like, I don't come from money. I'm not a guy that grew up well off. Like I grew up in a 1,000 square foot 3-bedroom house in Garland that had gang signs tagged on the front brick of it. Now, that's not anything negative to my upbringing. I loved my family is phenomenal. I'm very blessed in that manner. We've got great parents. They really, you know, did a lot to make sure that my education was there and everything like that. But that's where I grew up. I grew up, you know, playing outside, literally vivid memories of people walking up to me asking me who you with, am I in the right gang for them to be allowed to like me, right? I don't have money. I didn't have family members that had money. None of my grandfather was an oil rig worker that moved all around. You know, my mom didn't go to the same school 2 years in a row until she was a junior in high school because he worked the oil rigs and lived in a trailer up until he passed. So that's the background that I've got. I was working a 9 to 5. When I quit my job, I had $1,500 to make it work. Now, that's a little bit of an inflated number because I did have a 401k that I could pull on. So the real story of it is I had 6 months of expenses where it's like, I got to make it work in this 6 months. But I only had $1,500 to put towards the business. Well, that $1,500 made me a millionaire within 5 years.
But, you know, you could go from, struggle to the success, but that key piece was you latched on to Scott Horn and you forced him through persistence and through consistency of just showing up at his office. Hey, work with me.
It was
like how many days, months, years did it take him to go, okay, yeah, let's work?
It took me 3 months of bugging him and pulling at his coattails before I got a meeting, before I got to go sit in front of him in the office.
Right.
And, you know, and again, I've had God open a lot of doors for me. I don't want to go too far. I'm not trying to make this a preachy thing here, but I am a Christian. I do believe that I've had doors open, you know, for me And that was one of those. And that was one of those moments where it's like, I think that Scott saw something in me that he recognized about himself, which was just the hustle grind, right? That like the willingness to work.
And on that, I heard a funny story over the weekend. Shout out to Sean Whalen. If you don't know who he is, he's an influencer in the social media, and he's a very big, he's a rah-rah guy, but one that works. And one of his things is he likes to call people out on their shit. And one of the things somebody had posted on his post, like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a Lambo in 2018 in 6 months," and he's like, "That's awesome. How?"
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Well, I'm gonna hustle." And he's like, and he scrolls through the guy's Instagram, Facebook feed. He's like, "Dude, I see every post that you've posted. You're gonna hustle." But what does that mean?
Right.
I mean, if you break it down, a Lambo's $300,000, 6 months, that's like $400 something a day. Don't do the math. Just bear with me here. How are you going to make $400 something a day between now and then to buy this Lambo? And the guy's response was, "Don't be a dick." So it's like, you could say, "Hey, I'm going to hustle, but what does that mean? Is that door knocking? Another quick shout out to Marcus Ingram. He is one of our friends of the show, friends of our community. He's very new to this business. One of his first times he was in here meeting with us and just chatting. He's like, "Yeah, I've almost got my LLC set up. I've almost got my logo set up. Da da da." And I'm like, whoa. You don't need any of that shit. You need to be door knocking and getting a contract. You don't need an LLC. You don't need a logo. You don't need any of that crap. You need deals. And he's like, and you can see the face of his excitement for the business, like hit a brick wall. But guess what? I just saw this morning. Hey, I got my first deal. So awesome. What's more important, having the logo and the rah-rah, or having actual? But it took networking and meeting people and getting to work and knocking on doors, getting people spitting at you, shutting doors, and just yelling at you. Yeah. And he got it. So good for him. Good job, Marcus.
Absolutely, that's awesome. That's a great success story.
Give us some fire emojis and likes and
for him. And somebody tag him in here too.
Yeah, somebody tagged Marcus.
Because here's the thing, and this is why I'm talking about, like, look, we've done 29 episodes without like really going into the hustle grind of it because we kind of poke fun at it. But guys, it is a hustle. It is a grind. You do have to work your butt off. That is why Scott took me on, is that I was persistent, and I showed, like, one of the things that like I've joked about with Scott in the past is that I didn't knock on the door, I kicked the door down. And that's and that's how I got that partnership. We talked to Miranda Moore has a great quote here. If the door doesn't open, go through the window. You do have to find a way, right? Just as unrealistic as a body image that I'm giving you by saying, "Oh, screw all the rah-rah," it's just as unrealistic of that image to be all rah-rah. There has to be a balance. But when I'm saying, "Oh, the rah-rah, blah, blah, blah," dude, for those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you saw my post on Monday. Monday, I posted that I was clocking out after 14 and a half hours of solid work. Like that, on Monday, I worked 14 and a half hours straight. And usually when I say I work 14 and a half hours, like I was driving someplace or whatever, I was on the phone every minute that I was in the car. Even during my lunch, I had a 15-minute break between meetings. And one of my students needed me, and I called him and I said, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm going to be chewing while we're on the phone because this is the only break that I have for lunch."
You misspelled dead, by the way.
I did misspell dead. D-E-D, dead.
D-E-D,
And even after I posted that, guess what? I realized, there was something else I needed to do, and I spent 2 more hours. So I worked 16 and a half hours straight on Monday. Yesterday, my first meeting was at 7:15 in the morning, and I didn't clock out until 8 p.m. last night. Another straight through day.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it's like the other day before our last event, like I think a couple days before, the weekend before, is a Friday night, and I went live from my desk only because I wanted people to understand that it was me spamming their Facebook pages, not a virtual assistant.
Right.
Because what I was doing was I was thanking individual people on Facebook for registering for our event, and hey, I really look forward to seeing you there. I don't know if you've ever spent more than just, hey, Facebook, but literally just grind it out on social media. It's a beatdown, and it is work. So even that aspect of it. But again, I wanted people to see that
it's happening.
That it's me doing it, because I want credit. No, but it's work. And I think when we make fun of the rah work or the rah, what we're talking about is that guy that Sean Whalen was talking about, where it's hustle, grind, hustle, grind.
Right.
Well, how are you hustling?
Right.
How are you grinding?
And that's exactly what I want. So like, let's get you to post right now. What are you doing to hustle? All of you who are watching this right now, I want to know, what are you doing every day to get in front of a seller? What item have you done today, or are you going to do today, that's going to lead to you talking to a seller of a home? I want you to post that here because I want people to know what's happening. Like for instance, my sales manager is meeting here at 12:30 so that we can drive to Granbury and run a lead together and take that house down. That's what I'm doing today to buy a house. What are you doing today to buy a house? Are you pulling the leads from Propelio and finding which ones that have the equity that you want to go after? That's something that you can do right after this video. You can get that done today. How are you going to meet the goals that you want to have? What is your why? I was talking to Travion here earlier, and that's one of the things that I love about that he pointed out. He was like, you know, I see guys like you who don't really always, you seem like you just got your why, and you're ready to go all the time, but sometimes I need to be reminded of what my why is. Sometimes I spend so much time doing that I have to stop and think, why am I doing? And so what's your why? I want to know what your why is and what you're doing today to get in front of people.
So I'm glad you brought that up because over the weekend, obviously I was in Phoenix, AZ Flip guys were out there, and instead of going to the pool party, I was like, you know what? Let's keep it a work trip, and I met up with those guys, Cashflow Chris and BP, and it was funny because know your why. Well, Chris, he's like, you know, I hear that, but my opinion is, well, why not? Why not do the work? Why would you not do this? Why would you not try to be successful? So there is so many ways to think about this. Sean Whalen, again, I'm shouting Sean Whalen out just because I've been thinking about him, in a way. Anyway, but his thing is, what do you want? And really being honest about what do you want? Oh, I want to be a millionaire. Well, why do you want to be a millionaire? Right. And you know, not to downplay what he does, but to summarize, it's, you know, I want to go fishing with my kids. Oh, well then that's what you need to do. And it's just like so profound. But you know, with Chris, his is like, well, why not do that? Why would you not do it? So there's so many ways to motivate yourself to get there, but you need to find something that works for you.
Find something that works for you.
Mine is fear and paranoia of sucking and not succeeding.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know if that's healthy, but you know what?
Well, and it's funny.
That's what I do.
Look at this that I wrote here. This is one of the things that we've identified. So before I go into that side of things, let me just address right here. Thank you guys for posting up what you're doing. Elizabeth, she's going to be sending mailers today. She's going to be knocking on doors today with people with tax suits and judgments. That's awesome. Brian is working an 8 to 5, and he makes phone calls every day at lunch and drives for dollars in the evenings or calls in the evenings. Brian, that is awesome. I love seeing that. I love seeing, this is what grind is. This is what hustle is. If you're going to be a real estate investor, you have 2 jobs. If you have a real estate investment company and you're working your 9 to 5, you're not a 9 to 5er that wants to invest in real estate. You have 2 jobs, and Brian gets that. Brian understands that this is his second job. Sophia, you said new marketing strategies, and let's talk about that, because I think this is one of those things that we need to be very clear on. We can spend all day coming up with ideas. Okay? You can spend all year coming up with ideas. You can spend 2 years coming up with ideas. What about new marketing strategies is talking to a seller today? That's what I'm trying to get out there, right? I run into this myself. We get so enamored by the strategy, by the process. You know, you look at any of the gurus' things, it's all about their proven process. There's a funny video called Douche Guru that you can watch, and it's
what?
Douche Guru.
I love
it's
it already.
Hilarious.
I love it already.
And he's like, I'm coming at you guys with my proven process that has been coming from my tech guys, my process that's 100% proven, and what it happens is I just push this button on Facebook and you see me live. You know, it's like, it's just stupid stuff like that. I love processes. I love puzzle pieces. But I will realize there are times when I've spent 2 weeks and I haven't actually talked to a seller. right? So we need to make sure that we're doing what is going to make me talk to a seller today. That is the hustle. Elizabeth has 5 flips going that keep her very busy. My why is living life on my own terms. Exactly. Here we go. Christina, I buy homes, multifamily, commercial property sign posted in front of my hardware stores. I get at least 1 lead per week. That's awesome. So I love seeing these. I want to see your whys. I want to see what you're doing today. Post today, because you know what? As we're watching this video, as other people are watching this video, we're sitting in front of a computer watching this video. My goal for this video is by the end of this video, we have 2 people live because everyone has gone out and started doing. Right? That is what we need to understand that when we say we're about to close up, everybody drops off and they go out there and start doing, because that's what it's about. Now, getting back to Ryan's why? This is something
before we get, I do want to address something is yes, have plans, have action, have your goals, have that. But you need to break it down to a day by day, a minute by minute, hour by hour, because it's like, oh, I want to have a big house on the oceanfront property overlooking the cliffs. Okay, reverse engineer your way into that. If it costs this, go bam, 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 bam. What do you need to do every single day? So right now you're talking about what are you going to do today? It needs to be broken down. Okay, what do I need to do today to be successful? Or not just. Don't even say successful. What do I need to do today to get a contract?
Right.
What do I need today to get an appointment?
Right.
And break it down like that. And it's all numbers.
Right.
You know, when we go to these events, we go watch these videos, listen to podcasts, everything. Again, it's all raw, just blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, if you knock 100 doors, somebody's going to answer the door. I'm not going to say you knock 100 doors and you're going to get a contract.
Right.
You knock 100 doors, you're going to at least talk to one person. But guess what? You knock 1,000 doors, well, that's 10 people.
Right.
So maybe you knock 10,000 doors, or I don't know the math, but if you can get in 100 doors, you're going to get a contract.
Right. And that's the beauty of the hustle. That is the part of the hustle that people don't.
Is it a song?
Do the hustle.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's the part of the hustle grind that not everybody is appreciating. Hustle grind is something that I call the Facebookers the hustle grinders. That like your profile picture is real estate related, the banner is real estate related. There's 10 posts a day about how much you hustle. But how many houses have you bought? How many times have you gotten in front of a seller, and what are you doing today to get in front of a seller? And we've got to know our why. We've got to work it out on a daily basis, figure out, again, Ryan is a very strategic person. Ryan has to have the numbers. I'm going to put this and this and this and this. That's not everybody. That might not be you. You might need to have the emotional, fired up, just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to win and I'm going to get this. That might be you. Your why might be the win, right? So let me finish this out real quick. So when we talk about that, something that I've identified in my companies, the identifying feature of my companies and the people that work for me and the people that I've surrounded myself with that have led to the success that we have is a healthy competitive excellence. Okay? We're defined by our excellence. We're not defined by our competitiveness, because competitiveness, being defined by that, a lot of times that becomes a detriment to your own personality. That competitive nature can kill you, because if all you have to do is win all the time, that's where it kills you. We're defined by our excellence. But that healthy competition, that competition that says, dude, I think it is super cool for Daniel that he bought this big commercial warehousing thing. That is freaking awesome. Why the hell don't I have one?
Yeah, use it as motivation versus competition.
Yeah. So, but that competitive nature is what triggers you, right?
Right.
That saying, if they can do it, I can do it.
Right.
If I can take $1,500 and turn that into $1 million in 5 years, why can't you?
Yeah.
Here's one big thing. So whenever I was deciding to quit my job and go into real estate full time, and again, I'm not trying to make this too preachy. I want to be very clear that the core of this was through a lot of prayer, through a lot of talking with my wife, and making sure that we felt like that's where we were being led. However, one of the motivational things that I realized is every McDonald's, every Coca-Cola, every Amazon, every Ford Motor Cars, at one point in time, that was just somebody's idea. That was just somebody's idea that was talking to their friends and said, you know what? I bet you, I know I could build a car. You know what? I've got a recipe that makes a really good soda, and I think I can mix that together. I think I can sell some Cokes. Apple started in the garage of two guys. We got Steve Jobs and Wozniak sitting in a garage making prank phone calls to China because they hacked it. And now it's the largest, most rich company in the world. If if the ability to do that kind of stuff is out there, why can't you do it? Why not? There's your why not. If somebody else is capable of doing it, why not you? So having that healthy competitive excellence, define yourself by your excellence, but use your competitive nature to understand if somebody else can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, and on that, like, just to go to the social media world, just because that's what we're in, if you have a real estate investor event, if you are doing any kind of investor type of videos, if you're doing any kind of social media thing or anything in this space, you have lost your mind if you don't think I am watching you and trying to learn and mimic anything that you're doing successful. Not out of like unhealthy competition. Like, I don't care how successful or how if you're going up, going down, it doesn't matter to me. Obviously, you want the best for everybody. But if you're doing something that's going to be awesome, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to mimic it and try to bring it in because it goes back to the competition aspect.
Right.
And I don't know what point I'm trying to make. It's just, you got to have that. That's my hustle. Part of my hustle is to be aware of what's going on in this space.
Right, and you're embodying that.
Yeah, and just, okay, hungry hippo.
Yeah.
Just getting all
Eating
that
it
stuff.
all up.
I'm eating it all up, yeah.
And so that's in the social side, but what about on the real estate side where you are right now?
Yeah.
You've just seen, one of the reasons I wanted to put what you're doing, what are you doing? And if you're just tuning in with us right now, what are you doing today? What are you going to get done by day's end today that's going to put you in front of a seller? Let's look at that and let's share it with each other, because here's the thing. I realized something within this last few days, honestly, that legitimately, and I'm not trying to take more credit than is due here, but legitimately, I have a part in having made the owner financing landscape clearer and better for the market as a whole, right? That is really cool for me to understand that there are people out there like, because Dan Diaz down in San Antonio, right? Or no, he's Houston. No, he's San Antonio. Dan is down in San Antonio. We're having a chat this morning and understanding that this is knowledge that wouldn't be out there otherwise. This is knowledge that before us getting out there and putting that stuff, people just didn't have it. So I don't want your competitiveness and hearing this of like, oh, well, I'm going to take that and use it to be a negative and keep you from sharing. I want you to use this competitive nature, because if you can make other people better, you know what fires me up is seeing guys like Dan go out there and buy a ton of houses and using that information that I've shared. You know what fires me up is seeing my students go out there and buy houses, doing stuff that I've told them to do, right? Because that's another thing that says, well, shoot, this knowledge is there, this is real, this is an ability that we have to buy houses today and make bunches of money. And what is the best type of money? Bunches of it. That's the best type of money.
So real quick, we usually do the book giveaway. There's a book that I came across this weekend. I haven't read it yet, but everybody that was there had read it and they loved it, and it should be delivered today. It is actually, I've been talking about Sean Whalen a lot. It's his book, How to Make Shit Happen, and it's on Amazon. It's click there. But we're gonna give 5 of those away for free today.
That's awesome.
So same thing. We're doing the random comment picker, but we're gonna do 5 this time, just because I'm at least passionate about people's success and realizing that it's not always about the rah-rah. It's about the hustle. It's about the grind. But being strategic about it, but not just talking about it.
And here's a note to that. We're passionate about each other's success. That's why we're up here. I mean, again, I don't want to harp on this too much, but like I'm not getting paid to be here. Propelio is passionate about you guys understanding what's going on. I'm passionate about you guys understanding what's going on. So this is one of the things we do. We get fired up by seeing that happen. I want you to right now, understanding that, hey, getting another comment is going to give you another chance to win this book, but tag somebody that you have seen in the real estate market that has fired you up. And if that's 5 people that have fired you up, tag them. Yeah. Who has motivated you? I've been motivated by relationships with Daniel Moore. I've been motivated by relationships with Ronnie Walker. I've been motivated by tables falling apart. I've been motivated by a lot of people that are around me. My relationship with Scott. There are people that have made it to where I am who I am today. I do drive the fancy car with the big house with the beautiful wife and the dog, and you know what I mean? Like, I do have that life, that materialistic thing that so many people get into.
And I still do not understand it. If you met his wife, you wouldn't understand it either.
It's fair. It does not make sense.
Because Grant has a face for radio.
I do. It's that negotiation skill, baby. I told you, I'm a number one negotiation. I gave her the hairy arm principle.
So again, it's like, we want this to be a conversation. So keep telling us what your why is. Keep telling us what you're doing today to make that why happen. Because again, you could say my why is because I want to prove everyone wrong. Well, to me, that's not very healthy, because why do you care about everyone? You should care about yourself. Another thing, I went to that event this weekend. A lot of people, like we were talking about before, need the rah-rah. They need the uplifting, whatever. And like you said, you're not like that. I'm not like that either. But at the same time, I'm not closed off to still see gain and still see the possibility of getting something out of it. So like this weekend, I went there going, okay, I need skills, I need like nuggets, I need actual building blocks that I could put into our business here. And if I'm not going to get it from the stage, I'm going to get it from, hey, Grant, teach me something. So there's those aspects. So it goes back to that, if life is not giving you something, well, take that shit. Go out there and just like get it.
Right.
I'm
a big believer in the American dream.
Yeah.
Because I'm living it. I told you my story earlier. I don't come for money. I don't have money in my family. And I'm just repeating myself too much, but I think it's important for you guys to understand, because so many of you are in that stage at the beginning that are watching this and need to get fired up and need to understand that this is the real deal. This isn't, hey, this can happen. I did become a millionaire in 5 years from nothing. Without any education. I did not go to college. I did not know anything about real estate. From the time I bought my first house to 5 years later, I was worth $1 million. You can do this. But my first 18 to 20 months, I averaged 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was showing houses on Christmas morning. I made money from those houses, but I was showing houses on Christmas morning. I was very clear with my wife from the beginning, and I say that very clear, like we agreed, understanding at the beginning, we're going to live life now like nobody else so that we can live life later like nobody else. And that's what you're investing in. When you become a real estate investor, you are investing in your life, you're investing in real estate, you're investing in the market, but you've got to invest your time. And you've got to understand, like I said, I've gone 6-8 months without a paycheck, and that can suck. If you're in that stage, let us know. If you're in that stage where it's like, look, I'm in a rough period right now, let us know. And you know what? Somebody else, if you are somebody, and I want you guys to keep, I love seeing this. We're going to name out some of these motivators here. If you're watching this video, tag somebody who has motivated you to get you into this business. Tag somebody that's motivated you. And if you're looking through these comments and you see somebody that's in one of those stages where they're like, dude, I'm just down in it right now. It's tough. I don't have it. Reply to them. Ask them what they're doing, how things are going, and help them get to a place of payment.
So again, the Meltdown this Desert this weekend, I was at Colby K. Shout out to him and his crew and everybody that were part of it. It was an amazing experience. I'll be promoting the shit out of it next year, and I expect to get at least 30 to 50 of us real estate investor people out there. But again, on that, our response to, hey, how you doing is, yeah, I'm good. It's like, be honest. One of the concepts that was brought up at the conference was authentic vulnerability. So if you're with somebody you trust and they're like, hey, how you doing? If you're doing shitty, say you're doing shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be honest. And it's like, if you're doing really good, like, man, I'm really good, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But again, if you need help, ask for help. Don't be all solo warrior just because you think that's what the entrepreneur solo way is. Because especially in real estate, it is very much so a network, team-based situation. Grant and I, we've done deals together. We've competed against each other, but yet we're sitting at the same stage and we hang out and and I kick his ass and Settlers of Catan.
He did kick ass. Settlers of Catan.
But it's there's that team aspect, even though we're not the same team.
Right.
But that's real estate. So the person you're competing with today could very well be a JV partner tomorrow. That's why reputation is so important and not fucking people over.
Right. And one of the things too is with that whole network thing, if you've commented, so here we've got people that are commenting, and I just want to give some people some shout outs. Let's give a shout out to and Propelio, if you can retag, because some of these people that are getting tagged don't actually have the tag on there, it's just their names. If you could tag those people, that'd be awesome. But Lily Corona, Georgia Baba, Landy Lee, Christina Browning, Maria Larios, I mean, these are people who have helped Christina get to where she is. If you are somebody who's commented here, to Neil, Bryce, McKinley, Daniel, Tang, if you are somebody who's commented as having somebody motivate you, you got to understand, here's one of my favorite quotes. And this actually, I don't know if this came from someplace.
It's mine.
It's yours. It was an Aerosmith quote is where I heard it.
Oh,
but remember that the light at the end of the tunnel may be you. Always remember that the light at the end of the tunnel might be you. So if you're somebody who's been motivated by somebody else, take a special effort to go out there and ask. Don't say, hey, how you doing? Say, hey man, how's it going?
Right.
How's it really going? Right? What's going on? It's not just up to the answerer to give that real answer. It's up to you, the asker, to let them know, hey, I really want to know what's going on, because as a culture, we can recreate what the real estate investment world looks like together. Those of us that are watching this video have the power to recreate this entire landscape to being. I liked what Elizabeth put up the other day, because I did a live post last Thursday. I closed on a deal and I lost $8,000 on it. And I did a live post for exactly this reason, letting people know, dude, I just lost $8,000 on this deal, right? Mm-hmm. That happens. We're going to lose money. Now, I closed on another deal that afternoon where I made 10. So it kind of, but that's not to say, my humble brag there, that's not to say that I didn't screw up that deal. I screwed up that deal, and I screwed up another deal by screwing off my 2017. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of wrong things in 2017 where I lost a lot of opportunities and lost money on those couple of deals that I was running at that point in time, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's called, but it's like the entrepreneur success failure line graph, where you start here, you go up, then you fail, then you go up, and then you fail, and then you go the highest you've ever been, and then you fail the lowest you've ever been. But eventually, you just keep going up and up and up, and then when you have your windfall moment, you start really succeeding. And the whole point of that, I don't know. Anyway, you got to keep going. It goes back to that stupid GIF where the guy that's mining for diamonds and the other one's turning away when he was 2 inches away. That's accurate. You got to keep going, and that's why your why needs to be powerful. That's why you need to know what you want. Real quick on to asking for help and giving help and being part of a community. Another quick shout out to Colby K. is he had a funny story about you need to answer your phone, because when somebody calls you and you answer your phone, or you don't, let's just say you answer your phone and it's a waste of time. You can hang up on them. But say you don't answer and you don't know what happened to that person. Maybe they had a deal. Maybe they were struggling. Maybe they were going to invite you to a party. Maybe they needed help, and then maybe they really needed help, and they're not with us anymore. And if it was, God forbid, one of those situations, you will never forgive yourself for not answering that phone.
Yep.
On the funny side, the story Colby was saying was, late one night, Kanye West was calling him, and he's like, I don't want to, I'm kind of want to go to bed. And next thing he knows, he's the one guy that missed out going to the most epic party of all time because he didn't answer his phone. So you can always answer your phone and hang up on somebody. You can never not answer a phone. So, and that stays true to marketing as well. Just to give you a little bit of nugget for this episode of, if you put out marketing, if you have bandit signs, if you spend any kind of money or effort at all to put your number out there so potential leads can call you, and you don't answer that phone, you have missed out on that opportunity. So you always, always, always answer that phone. If you're scared that it's going to be the code enforcement guy, well, then maybe you shouldn't be doing bandit signs.
Right.
If you're scared to talk to people, then why did you spend money in the first place, and you need to practice? So again, always answer your phone. That's your real estate nugget for the day.
That is, yeah, and it's a good thing to remember, because, for instance, and again, I just need the subtle plug button today. One of my students bought a house a couple weeks ago, and then he was not returning the phone calls of the people who were trying to buy it. And we had this very come to Jesus moment of just like, dude, there is nothing more important than that phone right now.
Right.
That phone is what's in between you and money. Not you and your email address, not you and your website that you need to set up, not you and your business cards. The thing that's between you and money is that phone call, right?
Yeah.
So pick up your phone, put yourself out there. You've got to constantly thinking about what is going to make me money in this deal, not what is going to maybe set the foundation for something. Sure, you need some of those things, but and this is a funny thing that I've noticed, or go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll with that analogy, because you brought up foundation, no, your foundation is not your business. Your foundation is those leads, it's those phone calls. So in this analogy of a building being the business, like, oh, the front door is the website, and the walls, and this and that, and, oh, it's da-da-da-da. If your foundation is not there, i.e. answering the fucking phone, guess what? Your whole building structure collapses.
Right.
So in this business, you have to, I don't care how sexy your website is, I don't care how sexy your digital marketing efforts is, or your letter campaign, if you're spending $20,000, $50,000 a month, if you don't answer those phones, you are screwed.
Well, and let me just support that.
You can tell I'm passionate about this.
Let me support that by saying, when we're talking about our foundation, when I'm talking about get your hustle, do your hustle, actually grind, get out there, you don't need your LLC. If you have ever JV'd with somebody, tag that person right now. Tag that JV member that you've JV'd with. A JV being, hey, you found a lead, they were able to close it, and you were able to make some money off of it that way. Tag that person right here. Give them credit for what they've done for you there, because we also need to share the fact that JV possibilities are out there constantly. You don't need an LLC to make money in real estate. You don't need a website to make money. You don't need an @myhomebuyer.com email address. What you need is a willing seller. And what you need to do to get a willing seller is hustle, is grind, is get out there. And that means sending out marketing, whether that is making phone calls, knocking on doors, sending out mailers. But you can find that lead, have absolutely no corporate structure at all whatsoever, and then go to a Daniel Moore, go to a Grant, go to anybody else that you're able to JV with, and propose it to them and say, hey, I've got this deal, I've got this willing seller, are you willing to help me out with it? And guess what, they will. And guess what you've just done? You've expanded your network. The reason why I want you to tag people that you have worked with on JVs is because that's going to let other people know, hey, this person is available for a JV. And now you are using your experience in real estate to elevate somebody else who's in a hard spot. You have just expanded that person's network by one more person. And not only are you helping your JV friend out, but you're also helping a newer real estate investor out that might not have that connection otherwise. So we want this right here to be a great network of people to speak to each other that says, look, we're all in this together. We're all going to be real. We are real estate investors, so let's be real.
Oh my God.
And honest about what's going on, if we're doing well, if we're doing poorly, if we've got deals that we need help on, all that kind of stuff. Everyone who's right here talking to us right now is on the same page. Are you not? Are you fired up about going out there and doing real estate yet? Because you should be. If you're not fired up about doing real estate, then maybe you need to rethink things. Maybe you need to get out there and look at more of these motivational talks. Maybe you need to understand and hear from people like myself who went from $0 to millionaire, right? That is out there. That's absolutely what we have. If you're fired up, let me know. If you're fired up, comment here and say, I'm fired up about real estate and I want to work and this is what I'm willing to do today.
And if you know Angelica Taylor Boyd, reach out to her. Give her some love. Right now she says she's in a rough stage right now, but she's moving through it, which is what you just got to keep driving. But if you know her, give her some support. Give her some good thoughts. You know, Grant would pray. I would just give you my vibes. It's there's no wrong, there's no right. It just is what it is.
We're here to help each other out.
Here to help. It's a community. Like what we're trying to do with Propelio here is, yes, sell subscriptions for our service, $89 a month, and you get access to MLS comps, websites, off-market lead lists, et cetera, but also have a community where you can lean on each other and help each other out, because there is so much opportunity out there. And don't be one of those people that, oh, Grant got the deal, well, screw him, that's the deal that I didn't get. You'd be like, Grant got a deal, awesome, well, I'm going to go get another deal. But if Grant gets that one, then you could say screw him. But I'm just saying, you have to have this abundance mentality, and people like to claim they love the abundance mentality, but their actions speak differently. Like, hopefully with us, we don't really talk about it much, but hopefully it shows what we're trying to do. We're trying to give the kitchen sink away, and it is our hope that you actually grab the kitchen sink and run with it.
Brian wants to leave his day job in the next 6 months and go full time.
How you gonna do that?
Raise your hand here. Comment here if you have left your job. If you are an X9-to-5er, say X #X9-to-5er. That's what we're gonna say. All these hashtags, we're creating all the anyway because
#10to10er.
Because me. I want you to understand, Brian. It's there. It's totally there. I worked a 9-to-5. Did you work a 9-to-5? Were you a 9-to-5, or have you always been entrepreneurial?
I've never worked 9 to 5 because mine's always been like 8 to everybody else leaves at 5 and I stay till like 8, 9, 10.
I like
because again it goes back to that fear of sucking.
Angel's fired up here. Bryce is fired up. Sonia's going to be praying for Angelica. Fioris is fired up. Let's keep each other fired up here. When I wanted to go up here to Bryce comments, Sharpen. Sharpen is an acronym for selflessly helping all ready persons eager for nurturing. It's a long acronym, but I like what it stands for, right? If you're ready to be helped, if you are ready to work with people here, let's work with people. You've got a whole network right here of people that are ready to help you, ready to be honest about stuff. Elizabeth, Never Ready, was a social worker. She fired the job. I fired the boss. You can do it, man. You can do it. You can totally get out there and get that going. Greg Cook has a 52-door apartment complex in Florida. He's ready for help on, ready to JB.
So Brady, I'm stalking Grant to expand my craft in the no space. His deal engineering knowledge is key to keep taking down deals others won't. Alignment of why and values is a bonus. On top of that, I would also throw in Scott Carson and Kristen Gertz into that note mentality because they're doing a lot of things out there, and there is overlap between the three of them, but there is also individual expertise.
And Christina Fuller also says, hey, Scott Carson is somebody that fired her up and got her motivated to close on notes.
But what I want to point out right there is, Brady was just, hey, I really like Grant. And I really like Grant, but guess what I just did? I gave Grant 2 of his competitors shout-outs because of abundance. And
I always pull back to this story. There was a guy around town that they've sold their company and kind of retired now, but his name is Daniel Klein, and he did...
he retired?
Yeah, they sold that company.
Okay.
Anyway, one of the few times that I've actually had to compete against anybody like in my direct circle with owner financing, it was me and him, and he got the contract. And like that's cool. Like we both knew that we were shooting for the contract. We talked to it. We were like, "Hey, are you working on Dandelion or whatever it is?" "Yeah, I've got that one too." And it's like, "Okay, well, may the best man win." That dude would not shut up for like a year. Every time he came to the office, he's like, "Hey, did I tell you how much money I made on Dandelion?" I'm like, "You son of a But you know what that is? That's healthy competitive excellence. We have created a standard of excellence in our group of influence, and we have that healthy competition, and that's what we have here. Talk crap to each other. Let each other know, like, yeah, screw you, I got that deal, whatever, but you're still working together at the end of the day. You're still shooting for the same goal. We're all here for the same thing. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, I'm here so my wife can fire their job, so my husband can fire their job. We're here to get this stuff done. So let's take that screw it, let's do it mentality. Let's take everything that we've heard about today. Let's take all these people that are motivating each other. Everybody, if you tag somebody, tag them with a thank you. Mm-hmm. Say thank you for firing me up. Thank you for getting me going, because that's what we're all here to do. So you've got 30 episodes backlogged here where you can go out and you can watch some 28 other episodes that you can watch, and Grant Teach Me Something of every week of actual step-by-step, real, actionable information that you can take into the market and turn into money. But you know what? To make that work, you got to have this hustle kind of mentality behind it.
And let me address the elephant in the room. Daniel pointed out at the very beginning of this episode, nobody else has latched on. Yes, this is my rah-rah shirt. The light gray is for rah-rah. The dark gray is for like the meat. So this is gonna be my rah-rah shirt.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's see who's getting this book. What is it? How to get shit done?
Okay, yeah. It's a fun. I haven't read it, but a lot of people love it. And I met the guy personally. It was actually, if I may, a really quick funny story. So on Friday night, I was there. Molly Ladner. We were hanging out with Corey, and afterwards, Molly and I, we went to the hotel to see if anybody was still there, because it was like midnight or so. And there was like 5-6 people in the lobby. The lobby lights were out, and I'm like, me being me, was like, well, I'm here to work. So, hey, do you mind if we join your little group to network? And they're like, yeah, come on by. And it ended up being Reezy Resells. He's a entrepreneur who resells stuff at Amazon, and he does like stupid amount of business. Has a fairly large following in YouTube. I'll give him a quick shout out just because follow him if you want to know about entrepreneurship and what he's doing there. But met him. Tyler Harris, he's another social media influencer. His videographer's there, TJ Reeves, and got to talk to him. And then Sean Whalen was there, got to talk to him, and then a couple other people were there. And what was funny is like everyone was like, "You don't know who Sean Whalen is? You don't know who Tyler Harris is? You don't know who Reezy Resells is?" I'm like, "No, all I know is real estate." But because that, we were just genuine and honest with each other versus like, "Oh my God, you're Grant? Oh my God, oh my God, I want to learn from you." So had a great opportunity to sit there and chat with him and just have genuine, honest conversations. Cool. And I completely forgot the point I was trying to get to. But that's why I wanted to give this book out. A, because I think that it will be a good, impactful book. But B, I met the man in person without the air of, I'm a successful writer person. He's got millions of this, millions of that. But anyway, that's the story of why I'm giving this book away. But also, he's a good speaker.
Good.
So,
excellent.
But anyway.
All right, let's get this. So, Christina, thanks, Kelly, for always being there. Fioris, thank you for saying that we're firing you up, man. That's awesome. Angelica, I'm glad you're fired up, man. You're going through a hard time right now. I'm glad you're honest about that. We all hit it. It happens for all of us. So, Sally Riddle is there for everyone. Let her know what kind of properties you're looking for, and she'll help focus her energy to help you out on those. I'm glad to have you guys here. It's laundry day for Ryan. That's what Helen is saying. So, Bryce, we love you too, man. You're a baller. You're awesome.
So the first book winner is Sophia Jasmine.
Awesome, Sophia Jasmine.
So, Sophia, if you can, I got to comment this out. That way later I know. So if you could send me a DM with your address, I'll get that book to you. So that's number one.
All right, we doing a second?
We're going to do 5.
We're going to do 5.
But I wanted you to continually
All right,
talk
so
and have fun with this.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. So Sophia, thanks for playing. Thanks for winning here. One quote that I also want to give to you guys here is that everything is easy until you do it. Okay? One of the things about getting rah, hustle, grind, let's go do it is an unrealistic expectation of what that means. I'm giving you a bunch of motivation of today you need to go out and grind. Today you need to figure out if you're going to knock on somebody's door. Guys, if you're not a member of Propelio, become a member of Propelio. I'm a successful real estate investor. I use the Propelio lists to market to for my own houses. That is what I'm farming. They're good lists. There's plenty for everybody, and they're available to you. So go get those lists. If you don't know who you're going to market to, go get those lists. And if you don't have a way to talk to a seller today, go knock on 3 doors tonight. After you get off of work, go knock on 3 doors off of the pre-foreclosure list tonight. Okay? That's what you need to do. And just understand that we're talking hustle, grind, rah. Sounds really easy. Everything's easy till you do it.
Hustle, grind, rah. Ace Ham, you want a book?
Ace Ham! Woo! Ace is always in here, man. I love it. That's awesome. So, Ryan, you're supposed to tell me how to pronounce Fiora's name. Is it not Fiora?
Did I mess up?
No, I messed it up.
It looks like Stephanie. That's how you pronounce that, right?
Fiora?
That's not how you do it.
So yeah, again, I'm sorry. Maybe you can give me a phonetic spelling there. I don't know how to read.
It's digital. If it was like written in hand, you get it.
Pronounce it for me.
It's digital. Third winner is Travis Smith.
Travis Smith. Excellent. Ferris. There we go, Daniel. Ferris. There we go. So again, if you're a book winner here, what I want you guys to do is I want you to share this. Share this video that we've done today, because guess what? Just like somebody else got helped from watching this, we had a bunch of live viewers today. There might be somebody out there that needs to hear this message. There might be somebody out there. Angelica's, or wait, was it Angelica? I'm forgetting. Is the only one that was brave enough, even with all of this, was the only one that was brave enough to step in and say, yeah, man, I'm having trouble this week, right? But there might be somebody out there that you know in your friends list that's having trouble this week and needs to get fired back up, needs to understand, hey, there is money at the end of this table, right? There is a way to close on these deals, and we know how to do it. So share this. If you're one of the book winners, share this to a group that you're part of, share this to your timeline. Let somebody else share in the knowledge that we're giving out today.
Or just tag who you think needs this.
There you go.
At the thing.
Yeah.
Fourth winner is Angel Brasino. I think that's how you say Brasino.
Angel. Woo! Angel.
Yeah.
Matt, you're totally welcome for the great advice. I'm glad to have it. You know, this is stuff that we, again, hustle, grind, rah, rah. It is what it is, but I enjoy, I am fired up right now. I've worked, it's Wednesday, and before I clocked in this morning, I had put in 31 hours this week, and I'm fired up about it, because you know what? I went through a really tough first 6 months of the year. I went through a really tough first 6 months of the year trying to fix things that I did by getting lazy last year. I'm just going to be completely honest. Now, we have a lot of positive things happening right now. I've seen a lot of successes going on, but at the same time, because of my healthy competitive excellence, because of the culture that we've created that says we are going to have excellence in every facet of our business, and the fact that I have not met that fired me up. The first 6 months of this year were spent, or really the first 5 months of this year were spent fixing things, building our foundation again, and launching. And guess what? We've launched, and it's working. We put the work in. I've worked 31 hours this week, but you know what? We've bought a couple of houses this week, and we're moving. We're making money. We're making moves happen. We're hiring left, right, and center.
Isn't that a song? Making money moves.
I don't know. Making money moves. I don't listen to good
The
music.
last winner is Brian Barrera.
Brian Barrera. Good job, man. So again, if you won this book, share this. Tag somebody you think that might need this message. And just keep in mind, guys, we're all here to work together. You need help, reach out for help.
And to address the second elephant in the room, Daniel, the reason we're doing 5 is because the book's only like $4. It's super cheap, so we're not going to break the
So don't be too
That being
mad.
said, if you, again, I haven't read this book, so I don't know, but
You know the guy.
I know the guy.
Yeah.
And he flat out said when he was talking about it is, my book is simple shit. It is things you already know, but when you read it, it's like, oh yeah, I probably should do that. So go out there and get it. It's like $4. It's super cheap.
So as we close up here, congratulations to you guys for being in the business. Congratulations to you guys for being ballsy enough to make this work for yourself. And if you heard something today that spoke to you particularly throughout this episode, comment it here. So that people can relive that moment. Whatever might have fired you up, any specific thing that fired you up, comment it here.
Yeah,
so
I'd
that
like
we
to
can
know what
share
your
in that.
takeaway is. So if you could tag me, I'm sure Grant doesn't care, but I care. Just tag at Ryan S. Harper and tell me what your takeaway from this is. Also, side note, if you liked us doing something like this, we were already talking about doing 1 in 30, but having that social validation and telling you, yeah, we like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know. Tell us this is what you want. If you hated it, let us know, and we'll never do it again, and we'll go straight to the gray shirt or the dark charcoal
gray
shirt,
shirt.
and we'll burn the gray shirt. But again,
Yeah.
rah-rah is good. Rah-rah work is good if you actually do the work.
Right.
Saying the hustle and the grind and having your vision board and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And if you never take this, first of all, if you never actually identify what those steps need to be taken to get your vision board, then you're always going to fail. After that fact, once you identify what you need to do, that's when you actually need to do the hustle, the grind. So I would say first step, yes, have your goal, know your why, et cetera, rah, rah, woo. Second step is be honest and identify those steps it's going to take to get to that. And then 3, that's when you have to just nose to the dirt and work your ass off.
Yeah, absolutely. Just hammer away at it,
Face.
guys. All right,
Work
guys.
your face
So
off.
right now, I want you to go out and do something in this next 30 minutes. I want you to go out and do something that's going to lead to you talking to a seller. I don't care what that is. If it's downloading a list, that's only one part of it. I need you to actually write a letter and send it to somebody. If it's, the thing that I need you to do is put yourself in front of a seller. If you've done anything else other than put yourself in front of a seller. That's not what I'm asking. Put yourself in front of a seller somehow in the next 30 minutes, guys. Thank you for being here today. Again, check out Propelio. Check out CreativeCashFlow.com. CreativeCashFlow.com. I teach everybody like the start to finish on real estate investing in creative financing with owner financing, that kind of stuff. But take this next 30 minutes, go do something to put yourself in front of a seller, and we will talk at you next week.
Don't cut out yet, Trey. Don't cut out. Now, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being part of that. Now, leave. End the stream. Go do the work.
Yep.
There's
I want to see the numbers drop. I actually saw the numbers drop by about 6 people when I started saying this.
Seriously, going back to what Grant was saying, please turn off the live stream.
Yeah.
You're not doing it.
Yeah.
Go to
turn
work.
It off.
There's one.
One's
Sweet.
gone. Keep dropping off.
Dropping.
Go do something.
Get out of here.
Go do something. I'm done.
Leave the live stream. We're done. The only reason we're still live is because we want you to leave.
This is the point. This is
26.
Good. Done.
Keep dropping. Get out of here. Go back to work.
It's time to hustle. Go to work.
Boom. Keep dropping.
Gone.
Do it.
24.
There we
Good.
go. Keep
23.
Keep
Good.
dropping.
Keep dropping off.
We want to get down to less than 5 or less than 10. Go
exactly.
to work.
Good.
No more nuggets. There's no more nuggets.
And we will comment when this is over. We will comment to let you know how long it took to get people to actually take action.
Dropping
like crazy.
Get out of here. No, don't go back up. Go down. Watch the replay, but go down.
It's time to take action. I'm done with you. Go out there.
Boom.
Go out there. Drop. I'm very angry at the 16 of you that think you're being cute and watching right now. You're not doing anything. You're not getting in front of sellers.
Now's the real meat. Now that you stayed, we're going to give you the secrets. Just kidding. Get out of here. Once we get less than 10, we'll cut out.
Yeah, 4 more people need to leave.
Drop off.
X out of this right now.
Get out of here. Get to work. Seriously.
Why is this so hard? This is why people are failing.
This is why. Yes.
If you're not willing to go out there and work right now, I'm not willing to help you. You have to be the one that makes the decision to go do stuff.
Don't be a dick.
Hey, do the work.
We're being very serious. Now it's going back up. I think people think our 20. Anyway, stop watching this. If you watched the full episode, thank you so much. Go to work. If you're just tuning in, well, you're going to have to watch the replay. But seriously, stop watching. Get the shit done. Go to work and rah-rah.
Yeah.
Work.
Rah-rah.
All right, slow-mo high five out.
All right.
All right, thanks, everybody.